Welcome to our FASTsearch tutorial series. In video 1, we'll provide an overview of this tool and also demonstrate a basic search. Specifically in this video, we'll define what exactly FASTsearch is. We'll provide instructions on how to access this tool. We'll discuss how to use the simple search box. And we'll also provide an overview of the different parts of the results page. So what exactly is FASTsearch? It's really what we would call a discovery tool. So it doesn't store any content, but it can see most of the content in our library and connect you to those resources. So what it does is it searches most of our databases at one time. Instead of you having to go through and select individual databases to search, it takes some of that work out for you by looking across databases for whatever search terms you put in. What's nice about that is, as the name implies, it can be a lot faster. And the other nice thing about FASTsearch is most of the content that it can see is available in full text. So you have very few barriers between typing in some search terms and finding some full text results. Now let's connect to the library website so we can look at how to access FASTsearch. Once you've connected to the library website in Moodle, you'll find FASTsearch prominently displayed in the top right corner of the screen. And what you see here is the basic search box. That's the one we'll be using in this video. And then in another video, we'll talk about how to use the advanced search features. So now let's run a sample search so you can see the interface. I'm going to type in the phrase online learning. If you want to search for an exact phrase, you can enclose it in quotation marks like I've done here. And now I'll press search. And here you can see our results page. So the results page is just displayed in this 3-column format. It's very straightforward. The left-hand column provides you with different filters you can use to narrow in on the results you need. The center column, of course, is where you actually see the results listed. The right-hand column sometimes will have information and sometimes will not. What FASTsearch does is if it can see a web definition for the search term you typed in, it will put it over here on the right side. Now we're going to discuss how to use all of these filters on the left side in the next video. For now, let's just break down how you interact with these results in the center column. So first, if you actually want to access a result, you just click on the title. It's going to open a new tab. And here you can see it connected me with this article. Now, when you connect to an article, it will look different depending on what database actually stores the article. Remember, FASTsearch can see articles and connect you to them, but it doesn't store the content. This article is in the Emerald database, and this is what their interface looks like. I can see over here that I can click PDF to download the article if I want, or I can scroll down to read the full text. If you're not sure if you want to read an article, keep an eye out for the preview function just below the initial description on the results page. When you click on preview, it will show you an abstract if one is available, which will help you learn more about the article. And below the abstract, you have even more detail. This will include things like the publisher, the issue and the page numbers, a lot of that citation information, and it will also include the subject terms assigned to this article. That could be a great way to think of other search terms you might use on a given topic. Now we'll take a look at these 5 buttons you can use. The first button, labeled Permanent Link, when you click there, just as the name implies, it creates a link back to this work in FASTsearch. Now if you email yourself the result, it will also include a link, so you might not need to use this very often, but if you're in a hurry and just need to save a link to come back to later, that's what this button will do. The quotation marks will help generate a citation for the item. So if you click the quotes, you'll see a pop-up window, and then you'll have the option to choose the citation style you want. So I'll choose APA, and then it's going to generate a citation, which I can copy and paste or save. Now, one word of warning here is that these citations are not always perfect, but they're a great way to start. So you can see it doesn't do the hanging indent that it should do for APA. And you'll just want to keep an eye out for things like, has it done the capitalization and punctuation correctly? But as I said, it's a nice way to not have to start from scratch. The third button lets you email the item to yourself. So if I know I wanted to use this article later, perhaps not right now, I can choose email. I'll put in my email address. I can choose to put it in a citation format if I want. And then if I want to make a note to myself in the message area, I can. Otherwise, I'll just press send. And when you receive the email, it will include the citation, and it will also include a link you can click on to get back to the work. The fourth icon in our list is a folder, and this lets you temporarily save an item. In another video, we'll talk about how to permanently save searches, but this is actually at the item level where you can only temporarily save works. And this is useful. Let's say you've done a search, you know you need to email yourself maybe 10 articles, you don't want to do them one by one. You can send them all at once by using this folder method. So when you click here, notice in the top right, now there's a 1 next to that folder, and I'll add a few just as an example. So here on this folder is my saved items. It's keeping a running count of how much is in there. So let's say I've added everything I need to the folder. I'll click on the folder. And as you can see at the top here, it gives you this warning. This is a temporary folder. So if you're going to take a long break, if you're done searching, I highly recommend that you email the results in the folder to yourself so that they don't get lost with a session timing out. So once you get here, it's just like using the email function. You can put them in a citation style. It will then create a list for you. You can see here's the ones in my list. It includes a link back, and then I can choose email and complete that information to send them to myself. So just to reiterate, saving individual items to this folder in FASTsearch is temporary. You definitely need to take some sort of action with what's in that folder before you're done searching so you don't lose it. Now, as I said, I'll show you a way that you can permanently save your searches, but this is the only way you can actually save individual results. So keep that in mind that it's temporary. The last button here, more actions, if you click, you'll see there's another way you can click read online, although you can just click on the title. But this is where you will find these export options if you use a citation or reference manager. If you don't use one, it's fine. There's no need to worry about this. If you do use one, this is where you'll find those export options to send the citation to that program. Lastly, just a few notes about what's available at the very top of the screen here. So obviously you have your search box. You can click New Search to run a new search. You can click Advanced to go to the Advanced Search page, which we'll discuss later. And this star is how you'll get into your saved searches, which again we'll discuss in another video. Over to the right is your temporary save folder. These little chat bubbles are for our chat service, so if that is turned on, it's not right now, you can click on it and connect to us through Instant Messenger. The menu over here just gives you the option to email us or help using the tool. That concludes our first video. In the next video, we'll discuss how to use those filters on the results page to narrow down your search even further.